Welcome to Town Talk. I'm your host, Paula Hersey, and with me today is Ryan Bennett, and we're going to talk housing. Housing for all. There's so many programs that the town of Barnstable facilitates here for housing with a little a and housing with a big A and everything in between. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about your background and how and what you do in the planning and development department.
Sure. So I am the housing coordinator for the town of Barnstable, working in the planning and development department. I've been a land use planner on Cape Cod for almost 15 years, so I'm familiar with our region and some of our unique challenges and opportunities. I've been with the town for about a year now, working with the housing committee on bringing forward policies and recommendations to help meet our housing needs and challenges here in town.
It's such important work. As we all know, housing has been a challenge for more than 50 years here on the Cape, especially for our workforce. How do you get people involved? I think there's an event coming up that folks can actually have their voices heard about what they think housing should be here in the town of Barnstable. Tell us a little bit about what your event's going to do.
Sure. So September 21st at 6 p.m. at the Adult Community Center, we are having a community forum, an in-person event, but with an option for some remote participation via Zoom. We can talk a little bit more about that. But the forum is really geared towards it's a first check-in on our housing production plan update effort, which we launched last month. The housing production plan is a community's real opportunity to have their voice shape the housing policies and plans for their community. It's a Department of Housing and Community Development tool, so it's a state program, and there's guidance from the state about what a housing production plan includes. But at this forum, we're really hoping to present the findings to the public of our housing needs assessment. We'll be looking at current demographic trends and data from the 2020 census, and we'll present those findings to the community and really get their impressions and feedback about what the greatest needs are, what some opportunities may be for solutions, and that will all build towards a draft housing production plan that we hope to have later in the year.
That's fantastic. So I think it's important that people realize that their voice does matter in these decisions that the town makes. It's not that we just make these behind these big brick walls. We're here and we want to hear from you. So let's talk a little bit about the event. You said 6 p.m. at the Adult Community Center right there on Route 28, Falmouth Road. And 6 p.m., which is a decent hour for most folks if they want to get in and get out. How long do you think it'll run?
I think it'll be about 2 hours. That's what we're planning for. And we've really, I mean, you're exactly right. We want to hear from people. The community outreach and engagement piece of this plan is very important to us. We've just recently completed 10 focus group sessions. The consultant team is doing one-on-one interviews now. We scheduled this community forum to be an in-person event because we wanted that engagement, but recognizing that people still value the participation via remote option, we wanted to give that to folks too. So we will be presenting the forum with a Zoom webinar option so that folks can watch from home in real time and participate via their smartphone in interactive polling.
So let's talk a little bit about that polling, because I think that's a great idea for getting people to focus on specific pieces of a housing production plan. You know, pie in the sky, everybody wants, oh, let's do tiny houses here, and let's do this, and let's do that. But by doing polling, you can actually aggregate that data?
Correct. Right. So the consultant team can present the findings that they felt were most common or most important, and the public will have a chance to respond to that, whether they agree or disagree, or they place different priorities or preferences on some of those findings using their smart device from the comfort of their home. So it'll be,
and I just love that.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great way to really get it. The most responses that we can.
Fantastic. So the 21st, September 21st, 6 p.m., there will be a remote option and an online in-person event at the Adult Community Center. How can people get more information about this particular event, but also about the general housing production plan here in the town of Barnstable?
Sure. So the Housing Committee is hosting the Housing Production Plan update effort. So there's regular updates on the progression of that planning effort at Housing Committee meetings, which are the first Wednesday of every month. Okay. There will be a second community forum in November as the plan progresses in its development, so there'll be more opportunities to engage again. And then finally, the Housing Committee and the Planning Board will hold public meetings, I believe in December and January. So there'll be a lot more opportunity for engagement, and regular updates will happen on Housing Committee agendas.
Okay, and all that information is located on the website under Planning and Development?
Yes.
Okay, and our town calendar will have the meetings scheduled for when those forums will happen, including
Yes.
this one here. Anything I didn't ask that you want to let our viewers know?
Oh gosh, that's a trick question. No, come out or engage from home, whatever you're most comfortable with. We just want to hear from you.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.